I really look like I really look like I am like in somebody's kidnapped quarters. Like it is really dark, but it is 2:55 a.m. in the morning and can't sleep. So I wanted to come on and do a quick live and see if anybody was out there. Is anybody out there? I wish I had more lipstick on. Because I was definitely going to answer some questions and talk to you guys. Oh yeah, give me some red. If anybody wants to bring me some lipstick, because I am digging down to the bottom. Anyways, um, so first and foremost, this is maybe this is why I woke up. This is such a sacred time. Is it though? 2:56 a.m. in the morning, July 3rd. Um, this is the official celebration of the 1 year anniversary of my cousin connection. For all those who don't know what my cousin connection is, about a year ago, a year and some change. Um, I, CEO J Essence Enterprises, created a website based community dedicated for Black expats who wanted to move to Rwanda. And in this website, My Cousin Connection, it has all the articles about what you need to know, different information that's introducing um, Rwanda, your technicals, your visa application. And really, number one, let's be honest with you, if you can find the website, because we have our SEO up, um, there's really like this guide that at least puts you in the right pathway of relocating and getting your questions answered. So, bam. And then through this, we create lifestyle tours, and a lifestyle tour is for people who come to do like a city tour, but you're not touring Kigali necessarily as a tourist, but if somebody wants to move here, so we really focus on neighborhoods and schools. Hello, Elder. How are you doing, girl? How many emojis do you have? I love each and every one of them. Um, we also definitely we help you with the visa process, acclimate, and we are there from you from the beginning to the end, and we write the letters. You have to do nothing but pay for your visa and like sign the papers. Like we write the letters, we get all that other stuff. We have registered businesses for people, and we have helped people with their MTN runs and bank runs and helping get that set up. And then we actually work and try to have contacts and connects at the bank so we don't have to go through all that waiting and lining and all that other stuff, like to help ease the process. So my cousin connection has really just in this 1 year become all of this. And then I did ask for grace um, in creating my cousin connection, say, you guys, I don't know exactly what the needs are and how they can be sustained. So we still get a year to define who we are. Like when you go to McDonald's, you know what's supposed to be on a Big Mac filet of fish, quarter pound of French fries, icy Coke, milkshake sundae, and like you know what's supposed to be there. But in being a new business, you know what you want to achieve and you have your vision. And we have our pillar, we have our pillars of success. But we didn't know what it looked like managing and manipulating all of those things. So, shout out to 1 whole year. Make sure you watch the Instagram. Hey, Vina Cook. Hey, I got new names on here, and this is making me so happy. So glad to see you guys here. Um, um, but that's so I also did Girl Denise Come On Through, Come On Through, Come On Through. I did label this one, Leave It America was the best thing I ever did. And I don't know how to say it other than it is. And I remember, because you have to remember, this was not my first time leaving America. So, ooh, I will say, girl, leaving America in my right timing because I left America before. And if you guys go watch the video, that was shaky. That was shaky. shaking tables. Um, but I could say now, knowing the person who I am and the mental clarity that I have on some things, like I feel so bad because y'all, it's a lot of y'all. Hey, X. Hey, Elder. Much love. Y'all keep on. If you have questions, pop them in because this live is all about connecting to people and stuff. Hey, Denise. Hey, Vina. Hey, everybody. But if you have questions, um, what was I gonna say? I feel bad because I don't meditate. I should. Like, I've actually got this thing on my checklist this next week. I'm going to really practice on grounding myself and like taking these times out to ground myself. Um, and I say I feel bad because like that's meditation or there's a yoga or there's like all these things you can do to align yourself. And for me, leaving America got rid of so much noise. It really did. There was so much noise. Like, I'll be honest with you, this past week is the most I have watched television in like the past year and a half. And that's because shout out to my homeboy Mark, went and got me a fire stick. Well, got the family a fire stick because like I was really out of tune with everything. And there's a part of me that feels like I might be putting that fire stick up. Like I kind of liked us not being glued in front of the television. Girl, who is that? Rebel J's Fire. Traveling is my meditation. Oh, please elaborate on that one, but I understand. Um, because that's beauty and joy in just traveling. I need to get out. I need to go somewhere. Um, but like we didn't have television. Like and I didn't miss it. I just did not miss it. I did feel though, just I think in this past 2 months, me and my scroll is getting too comfortable. Like I'm waking up and then spending like an hour and a half in bed just scrolling Instagram. So I was like, nah, I'm gonna come back and nip that in the bud because that just could be a denial of trying to start the day. Like I rather stay in bed and deny starting in bed. Um, I really wish y'all would ask me some questions because I just feel like I'm rambling. We write about America because it's shady and shaky. Real talk. It was. So let me go back to why I left. Yeah, like even now, even with the um things that are going on now, because of television being the way it is, because of the Instagram, I still get to pick and choose. Like there's this knob. There's the y'all remember like your old school houses where you had the dimming light and you can pick to how much light you wanted to have. Like I can pick how much America I want to deal with. Like I wake up and I flick it on and it's blast and I'm like, this happening, this happening, this happening, this happening. Adam Orion can't sing. And I'll be like, ooh, that's so much America. And then I'll be like, you know what? Let me turn that down a notch. And let me only let some things seep through. So that's that's kind of like me in America right now. And let me say this again. Girl, and so that for my mental anguish has been so much better than the stress. And I really do feel like the steps are coming where my stress is starting to come down. Like, oh my gosh, like this is real, like that's tight. So, Denise, I follow you and have been making moves. Let me stop. I know you making moves. The way you talk, child. I'm a digital farmer. I have no idea what a digital farmer is. Please break that down to me. And purchase land in Rwanda. Okay. This is a question. This makes me feel good. Yeah, I get to answer questions. I don't know where to start in making the move. It is overwhelming. If you want to break that piece down, and there's some other things that I should do. Um, Number one, I'm going to redo my course. I have an entire relocation checklist. I probably should just like release out because it's sitting in my back pages, not touched. Because that can kind of just help you say where do I look and where do I plan. Um, I hate saying this because it's so cliche. I don't know where to start in making the move. It's overwhelming. You got to make sure you start by moving. You gotta move. You gotta move. Um, this is a good question, but I don't know how to answer it because I don't know where you are. But I'm gonna tell you, like I just told my homeboy something. Like my homeboy has this wonderful opportunity to make something big happen, to make really something big happen. Um, and the big thing that he's going to make happen is not immediate. It's not a tomorrow thing. It's not a whatever thing. And there's so many moves and steps that have to happen for the big thing to happen. And so I was like, man, you got to go for it. You got to do this. I said, however, this is the one thing that you got to pay attention to when it's time for you to drive or to move your passion or your energy. You can't, like, if, let me, because I do visual. Let me say, like, this is where you are. This is where you're trying to end up, right? This is the new move. This is the new life. This is the place that you have never seen before, and this is you. Okay, when you're here, it is so easy. Like I gotta do the things here. I gotta get these people on my side. I gotta get these collections. I gotta get this picture done. And so you get caught in the perspective of dealing with this piece here. You have to, if it's draw a picture, paint a picture, whatever, you have to make decisions based upon this. And that's one thing that we get confused upon. You have to make decisions on who is going to be impacted when I get here. What is going to happen when I do this? How is this going to live? And like, who is who, like this? So, this is where you have to start making decisions. No, this is who you have to start making decisions for when you're here. And it's, you see all this in here, this is the journey. In fact, this is not even a fair representation. It should be like this in here. But if you don't think here, you're going to get bogged down with the everyday stuff that happens here, with the family drama that happens in here, with these things here, and whatever else like that. There are so many leap and valleys that happen. And to be honest with you, for anybody who's trying to move out now into the next 2 years, as long as this recession thing is going on, this is chunky monkey. This is like peanut butter valley with the extra chunks in it. Like this is going to be sticky, tight, and all kind of other stuff because there's going to be so much coming at you. Like you're going to save yourself like $2,000 and then the car going to break down. Like that's what's going to happen. And so even when those things happen, you still got to remember and make decisions for here. And I'm a victim. Like I get caught in making money, doing stuff here and all this other stuff. But in order for you to get here, that's what you have to do. So I'm going to sit there and say, some people wrote some information down and I respect it. I'm about to watch it. But the biggest thing is, I think you need to have sectioned out time to remember the bigger picture of where you're trying to go and not to romanticize it. And I'm about to tell y'all some real freaking truths. I'm going to tell y'all some real freaking truths in a second. Let me answer these questions and then I'm going to get really real with y'all. And I'm going to be upset and like dramatic because I was like, I didn't want to get real. Real quick. Something about having a change to my environment supports growing his income. Secure. Okay, so Vanessa said number one, secure income. Number two, scout needs and wants with regard with which to lead. Number three, take a leap. Venus said she left the U.S. a year ago, moved to Mexico City as a single mother and haven't looked back. Venus, yes, it is truth. Then Rebel came in. I'm planning to visit Rwanda in the next 2 years for my scouting trip. Good job. Venus saying Rhonda's on her radar next. Isn't this a thing where I can, oh, that's when I do Stream Monkey or whatever you heard. Dallas, Washington. How affordable is Rhonda coming from America? Bam. How can I answer? So that's the hardest question I feel like I have to answer when it comes to Rhonda is people ask like, what's the cost of living? Because when you look at just the currency, like dollar to dollar, it's pretty much the same. No, it's not. I can't say it's the same. I take that back because y'all doing some stuff in America I ain't know before. I don't, I don't, man, whatever. So, It's just not you. Let me say, you're not going to go like from making $1,000 in the U.S. and then coming to Rwanda and balling. And then there's a video I did where me and Shauna just like compared our lifestyle budgets so people could kind of see what's going on. Um, Number one, I will say for Rwanda, my dollar gets me more. Um, $1,000, there ain't no such thing, man. If you have $1,000 apartment out here, you better be having the high life. But $1,000 here for living versus $1,000 in America for just your housing situation, you're in a house for that. You can be in 3 to 4 bedrooms, two-story house with view. You know what I'm saying? You're in a house. You might have to go up a little bit, but you're in a house versus like 1,000 in the States is different. You save money on food if you take advantage of your local markets. If you're constantly shopping like an expat and you're in the grocery stores, your food's gonna run about you the same because you're paying for imported goods. But like, I do a lot of like shopping in the market, so we're getting our food fresh and everything, so it's much lower. Um, your labor, like people who work for you, how much you pay for salaries, much less. So you get so much more on your dollar, but it is not one of those places where. And let me stop. I gotta stop this. Living in Kigali is so much different than living in Musanze or any other place outside of Rwanda. Like living in Kigali is like technically like you're living in New York City, in their idea. Um, Girl, you got a lot going on. Um, so when I say how affordable Rwanda is, I've told somebody before, and I forgot the words that I used, that when people say affordable, it's like we're looking at like coupon lifestyle and everything. I think it's better financially. Like I still feel 100% you need a US income in order to live out here, especially if you're living in the lifestyle that you're trying to live in or just whatever natural. But what you can get for that is a lot more, especially I think you need 3 to 6 months to acclimate. I think that most people are going to naturally come out here and you're going to live tighter than you need to live because you're just not you're figuring it out, and then after that you know how to adjust, change your budget, and let your money, and you can get your money to stretch here. You can get your money to stretch here. And you have to know like your luxuries and everything, like transportation is a cost. Transportation and housing are your top cost. Everything else you can figure out. Even when you go out to eat, um, you can figure out. Like I tell people, drinking is what pulls up your bill when you go out to eat. Um, Otherwise, you can eat on $10. Eat, and I'm talking about eat good on $10. You can eat good on less than $10 actually. I'm just greedy. Um, and I hope that answered your question about affordability. Like I just know like people have come out here and really been broke. And it's like you can't do broke here. This is like Rwanda is not the place to move if you're trying to stretch your dollars. Like Gambia, Tanzania, other places. Um, but not Rwanda. Rwanda is trying to be a heavy economic impact. And they're doing that accordingly. They're pushing things out and stuff like that, but it is 100% possible, and I do feel like 100% you get so much more for your dollars. Now let me go back to like the reality we were talking about. I'm so thirsty. Water. um it depends. So Denise, you are financially invested in a farm in Rwanda. That's the smart move. I'm retired, but I'm the legal guardian of 6 kids. Girl, child, all the prayers out to you right now. Rwandan lifestyle will give me the household support I need. Yes, it will. 5,000%. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Um, Can I say that one more time? Yes, it will. Um, I think Rhonda is awesome for retirees. Um, but yeah, I feel like we should be talking a little bit more. Thanks for the info time. Do you know ways to learn Kia Rhonda very good? Because I'm on the internet and only found the basics. X girl, that's a whole nother story. Let me go back to Denise. So okay, so I think Denise's conversation leaps into the other conversation about affordability, like what you can get here. Um, let's break down. Like my mother is 74, turning 75 next month. Um, like we call them security guards, but like she doesn't go anywhere without anybody. And to be honest with you, that ain't even her choice. She'd be trying to run out the house, and like my security guy, whatever, would be running behind her, like, you forgot your key. Like he goes everywhere with her. He refuses for her to go anywhere without him. Um, and then not only that, like she out in, like we talked about this before, she out in the street, she's doing all kind of stuff. We have cleaning lady, we have the chef. The reason why I'm able to be into so many ventures is because there's so much assistance around the house. We have um like I have like Hatsuma Farms, I have a manager that manages that, so we get a lot of support. I have basically those people who know Emmanuel, my cousin connection. Emmanuel's also my go-to person when I'm talking through things or asking questions and all that other stuff, like great stuff. So you get so much support in trying to create what you're trying to get so it doesn't become such a strain. Like I don't even understand how, like in the States, you're supposed to wake up in the morning, go to a full time job, come home, do laundry, cook, clean, scrub, take people to tennis, yoga, karate, basketball, and soccer. Like it's just like a lot. Like there's a lot that we ask our women to naturally do, and like that's one of those things where I feel like, yo, I'm still every woman, but like the energy I'm able to put into other things is like amazing. But in the same aspect, I'm like, I ain't going back to that cooking and cleaning life. Like y'all can sit there and say what you want to, black men or white men, whatever. Men can turn around and say whatever they want to say. You don't clean like my mama used to clean. No, the cleaning lady's gonna clean how your mama used to clean. I'm gonna take a nap. Like, how is it that I got to be out in the streets doing all of this extra work and then coming in and doing this? Um, so that X, do I know ways to learn Kia Rondon very good? No, because on the internet I've only found the basics. So what I can do or say, is that if you join the Facebook groups like expats living in Rwanda or anything else like that, there are people forever advertising or saying how they can tutor people to learn Kia Rondon. My personal opinion is Kia Rondon is a very hard language to grasp. Um, I think that in my upcoming year, I plan on being more intentional on trying to grasp the language. And first of all, I have to really immerse myself in it to grasp it. People telling you what something means doesn't always just register quickly. And Kiran, and that's the other thing, like English, like there's so many words for one word in English, and then Kirandan, kind of the same. I also have heard that if you manage to learn Swahili, it's an easier leap to go from Swahili to Kirandan. The other blockage that I have with learning Kirandan is I feel like the way that most places that I've been to, which is not a lot, have tried to teach me Kirandan is this is orange, like memorize this word, memorize, and it's a lot more like direct instruction, like this is what this is, say this phrase, this is what you say the phrase back for. And it's not like I'm learning the phonics and like how to read and decipher what a word is. So it takes me a lot longer to figure it out because basically you're just trying to come to me with that like multiplication memorization. You remember that when you had to write like the times table down like 70 times? And so it's hard. It's a hard language. So oh Jesus, there's still more reading. Okay. So I would say no. And then like I try to find like apps that help you with Rondon. Mm-mm. I do know, even though this is like a cheater, like if you watch YouTube, like when YouTube has their closed captioning, Rondon is one of those languages. So it's a great way to start getting like just seeing and being around that language a lot more. Child is hard. Um, are foreigners taxed heavily in Rwanda? I really just want to say no. And I don't know what you mean by that, only because so let me be honest with you. Like when we talk about income tax and all that stuff, like your taxes in Rwanda as a personal, like person for me person, you don't. I don't want to say I don't pay tax. Like nobody pays right now like this personal tax. You pay like you'll pay VAT when you go someplace. But you don't pay like a personal living tax. Like ain't nobody calling you on the 15th of April like, yo, cough up on your taxes. You do pay your property taxes, you do pay like that kind of thing. Then as a business, you pay taxes. So that's your tax situation. Now, are you taxed on the US end for being a foreigner in Rwanda? And I do believe you're going to catch me all off that. That's one of those controversies from the US is that US is like one of the only countries that still tax their people 100% as if they're still living in the US, even though they're on foreign soil or like you have to claim taxes or whatever. Now, you still have to file your taxes. However, if you're producing an income, there is a threshold. I believe it's 100,000. It's around $100,000 that you don't have to claim unless you're over that threshold. So that's kind of like that U.S. piece. And we had somebody on before. I think I lost it, so I'm gonna have to go talk to another tax professional so we can say how do you do taxes as a expat? Okay. Do you think there's a reasonable path available in Africa for those who do not have an American income or a lot of money saved? I can't answer that question. Girl, full time, it's been a long time. Hey, um, let me say why I don't feel like I'm the person to answer that question. Ooh, okay. So let me go ahead and get into the controversy because it's like early in the morning and it's late. Um, let me break down your question too. Do you think there's a reasonable path? Reasonable. What does reasonable look like to you or me? And so when I hear reasonable path, I hear a self sufficient person unable to honor their own. Do I think there's a reasonable path available in Africa for those who do not have an American income or a lot of money saved? So now the second piece is, let me be honest with you, there's like 5 billion YouTubers. Okay, not that many, that's exactly 5,000 YouTubers, all talking about what they've done and how they've done it on certain things or whatever else like that. Number one, behind the scenes, you get to hear a lot more. You kind of know some other things, right? Number two, me personally ain't living some of them lifestyles. Like, let's say, for instance, there's people who have moved without a lot of money and then now they're living in another country, but they're sleeping with I almost said sleeping with people, but they're sleeping on somebody's couch or they're bumming. There's people who bum in the name of solitude and whatever their lifestyle until they can kind of figure that out. And there's people who kind of find themselves into things. So for me, and I've stated this before, I am not comfortable with saying move to America and you don't have a pot, like a good savings pot you're coming from, or an American income. The very first thing that I say, and then this is where I'm going to say the controversial thing. There are so many people who have come to Africa to talk about their lifestyle, and like be here. And then in 2 to 3 years, they went back home. And it was always a financial reason. Like there's so many people you can turn around and tell me now, like, oh, this person's doing it here and da da da. And then I'm gonna be like, so where are they in 2 or 3 years? Like people are shocked by the number of jobs that I have. And then one of the things that I have, like my homeboy was talking to me, and when he talked to me, so he is an expat who's coming back to Rwanda. And he kind of said, he was just talking. He's like, yo, I gave myself 5 years. And I was like, well, what you mean? Because I'm like, he's like, no, no. He said, I legitimately, he's like, here's my start date. Here's my end date. I have 5 years. He's like, I had 5 years to be here and start 5 businesses and let them turn over and become investments. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, because number one, you're not going to make it out here unless you don't have multiple outcomes, incomes, I don't know, whatever. And he's like, and it takes time for them to turn around. And like to me, that was like one of the most solid advice pieces I ever heard. And I was like, I'm glad you said that because a lot of people don't talk that way. And so he gave himself that timeline and he legitimately has like 5 businesses now. And he's now at a position where he's like 100% comfortable living only on an African income, but he has like multiple streams of income. So I'm going to be controversial because there's going to be people who disagree with me, and I'm going to say um, no. If you don't have that money, because how else do you make the decisions? If not, you're going to be stressed out. And what's the purpose of moving? What's the purpose of moving? So if you, yeah, like you got to have something. You got to have at least $1,000 coming in monthly, at least $1,000 coming in monthly, and then that's it. You're not going to be looking at moving to Rwanda. There's other places where you can turn around and do that. And then I think the other piece of it is what is it that you want to be with your life? Like my biggest regret in moving out here is that um, I didn't have a lot of capital. I only have my US income monthly. And my regret is I want to do so much more. I want to buy more agriculture. I want to do that, but I didn't have that nest egg to do that, and I didn't ever save. And so I feel like I missed out on a wonderful opportunity in being an investor and builder here, because I didn't have the finances like other people do. I work month to month for my work. Check. So let's see. All right, let's go back to the questions. Smarter, not smarter, not harder life. Yeah, rebel, smarter, not harder life. Do you think it's a reasonable pass? Hello, hello, lioness. I'm so thirsty. I'm gonna dehydrate. 5 streams of income. I feel that. I appreciate the answer. Props to you. Do you think we can get a call center? Yeah. Do you think we can get a call center? Almost cracked up. Um, and employ the diaspora. Um, yeah, yeah. If that's your calling, that definitely can happen. I just was gonna crack up. Like, I don't know if you've seen the Trevor Noah one where he did like the police call in Africa. That joke was hilarious. I was like, you better train us, baby, because somebody call and be like, so what's the problem again? Did you restart? Like, our customer service comes better with checks because we ain't got time to be dealing with somebody's foolishness. Uh, but yeah, I mean, and I'll sit there and say, like, once again, um, I do think there's a lot to be said about doing your vision and not pushing through on a vision. Big difference in the work. So, whoever Dio is, I look like I lost a lot of weight. I love you. Come, you are automatically part of the family. Thank you for shouting out on the weight, boss. It's a no. It's a no. Girl is thick in the thighs. Your girl is still thick in the thighs. But thank you for it. Um, I think that's going to be one of my goals coming up, and not in a bad way, just Tommy, I do think that I was carrying a lot of stress, and I think that that stress has shifted. Um, oh, like and subscribe. That stress, and so I do feel like my body's starting to shift because um, I was stressed out about income and outgo. Like there's a lot with the farm, Haltima Farms. There's a lot that's needed. Yo, farming is not for the weak. It's a lot. So this past year has been immensely stressful. Like I said, there's a couple of things I don't tell y'all. Couple. And so I feel as if, well, one, let me be honest with you, when I'm stressed out, I'll be eating chicken wings and fries. Like that's my go-to. You are not coming to me with no cucumber sandwich when a sister got bills to pay. That's straight. You're supposed to, this finger looking good. Um, and then it's been a stressful year. And that's why it's weird. Like it's been a stressful year. Like I still had like best memories. I love what I do. But there's been so much work with me and changes in who I am. And like I told somebody, like today was the anniversary of my cousin connection, and I was so busy moving and doing stuff. I bought cute shoes. I bought cute shoes. I had a bomb outfit on. You'll see the pictures later. Bomb outfit on. I have cute shoes, but trying to be smart is like I did not put the cute shoes on. I drove in my tennis shoes and like I set up in the tennis shoes. But then as an entrepreneur, I got so busy, I never came out the tennis shoes. And it's not to the end of the event when I was like, I ain't even put on my cute shoes. But that's like that's the life of an entrepreneur. Like you're constantly running. Like one of my kiddos, my nieces asked me today, like, "Oh, Miss, Jay, you doing this? You doing this? And look at your business. Like you're a boss." And I said, "Yes, but I aspire to be a boss who can be late to their own events. I don't aspire to be the boss that has to set up the events, do the head count, check the money. I aspire to be the boss that has somebody else doing that and I could be late to my own events and make an entrance. I aspire to be a boss that makes an entrance. That's the right word. Okay, let me get back to this. Um, Thank you. Face looks thinner, but thanks for all you do. Let me be honest with you. Yes, and that's how I feel like I know it's stress. It's just not fat weight. It's stress because where the weight is maintained. So, but thank you. I'm gonna sit there and say that because let me get my flowers. Let me say thank you. And let me let you know I appreciate the love and the look of all of that. I do. I truly, 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 truly do. Denise, can you have a retirement residence? Okay, so you're using technical questions. Can you have retirement residency and make investments in Rwanda? Ooh, some technicals in that. Okay, whoa, let me give you first technical. The first technical is what do you count and constitute as investment? Because the technical answer should be no, but you might not be at the level of making money and putting money in that they quantify you as an investor. That's the first thing. So if you're trying to register yourself as an investor, that's one thing. That's one thing, and I don't think that any of us, excuse me, and for being in your pocket like that, and you can tell me I'm dead wrong, is coming in with that investor status money because they are looking for people to be investors, and there's an investment visa, but like, child, I ain't throwing them kind of dollars around. And that's real. That's real. So I would say you could still do your retirement residency and then do do what you have. Um, Sauce. So that's why it's a technical question because the answer should be no. The answer should be there is a visa for investors and there's a visa for retirement. And one of the things they do ask you to do is if you retire, be retired. Like don't have a business, don't do all those other things. If you're gonna be retired, you're gonna be retired. Um, but if you're making investments, like you can do that you can do that. Just depends. Like I'd rather talk to you about that one. And I would say I don't think it's a situation where you have to be worried about it because there's so many visas and residencies. Like if you're going to change, you just go in and change your status. It is not anything that's super difficult. You just want to make sure that you're abide by their rules, right? Um, Thank you, Rose. Thank you for the reminder. Like for Jay, like me. I hope you like me. Thank you for the 16 likes. Shout out. Thank you for the 12 people rocking. So I'm gonna go ahead and give. I think there was this moment we went back and I said I was gonna be truthful with you. So here is the truthfulness, right? Um, I I don't want to get into that. I was really looking at moving out of here into another house. The house is in Gashora. Number one, oh, you guys are, let me be honest, like, dude, I was so ready to make a video to be like, Jay Essence moved and bought a home and all this other stuff. And the move to Gashora, like, answered so many questions. Like, not answered so many, solved a lot of problems, especially for me. One of the big ones is that me traveling to the farm and trying to be a farmer. Like, let's be honest, my number one investment, if you look into where my money goes into keeping this house and keeping my mom and everybody here taken care of. And then number two, it goes to Hatima Farms. It goes to Hatima Farms. And in fact, Hatima Farms sometimes comes ahead of that. Um, I look for additional work and jobs because I'm trying to make these things happen. So I felt like the smart her move would be for me to relocate our family and move closer to the investment. Like, I am not the boss. And that's really real out here to me. You cannot be a CEO out here and not touch your products. You have to be hands on in order for things to operate the way you want it to be. In order to have that eye over here, yes, you have to be in the mix. And so I was really looking for it. And I love the Gashura area. I love everything about it. I really want to do a lot more work out there. I want to create the community center. I want to be part of the things that people have already created out there. Like, that was just that's a real big pump, 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 pump on my heart. Um, However, like, in order for me to get the house, which should have been fairly easy, it became very hard. And I'm going through emotions. I'm crying. I'm hearing. I don't. I'm just. It's so stressful. And I think that the very first thing is that one, I am I started to romanticize the move, I think, more than what it needed to be. And there was a lot of work that needed to happen for Gashore. And I started looking at Gashore being the answer versus dealing with the issues that I'm facing right here. And so it was me talking to my mom, and she was like, "Why do you want this so bad?" And the reasons why I stated were some, but they're not reasons to move. And one of the things was and that's why I said I hate to. One of the things was is that it was getting hard for me here. And the reason why it's getting hard for me here is that it's getting to be a little bit too loud and messy. There's so much that I have to do, and I just needed a break from people so I can focus on what I'm supposed to do. Like, I really want to spend today and tomorrow just being quiet because, and so I just realized that part of me going to Gashura was me physically removing myself from being so accessible and loving that intro part of me, like, because y'all don't realize I am a half introvert. Half of me is introvert. Like, I can just sit there and be happy in my own space. um and so when I was kind of explaining, like, I need to move so I can focus on this. I need to move so this can happen. I need to move so this can run. I need to move so I can be here. What I realized is, like, yo, that's energy. That's not the solutions that needs to happen. And so it looks like, I don't know, I have another 48 hours, but it might look like I'm not going to get the house. And when that happened, everybody looked at me like I was about to be devastated. And if it was a week before, I would have been devastated. I cried in the middle of the bank. Like, I had already cried in the middle of the bank and had a whole falling out spell. And then today I'm kind of like, If it's not supposed to be, it's not going to be. And I said, I think that I'm looking so hard at making this the answer that I'm blind to other paths. I'm 100% blind to other paths, so I might need to step back. So it doesn't mean that I'm not going to be in Gashore. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to go. I have the opportunity to make what I want work no matter what, or I can step back and see if there's another path because I'm going to get to Gashore, but there might be a better path for me to definitely get there. And so I said I told you guys that because that's a lot sometimes with the moves. Like, I don't want us to be so hell, like, I got to say it correctly. I don't want us to be so hell bent that we are breaking every single tie to get to this place that we romanticize to fix our problems because the house in Goshen is a need. It's a need. It is a need. But I started to lift it up as if it was an answer to some of the problems that I honestly wasn't handling on my own. Like the fact that I said there's, stuff happening here and pressing and all that other stuff. That's me not setting boundaries. That's literally me not setting boundaries. That has nothing to do with my address. That has everything to do with me. And just because I want to move myself someplace, I'm trying to give myself the excuse like, "Oh, I can't do that. I don't live that close." Like that's a cop out. That's like passive aggressiveness, you know what I'm saying? So when I recognize that, it's like I one, let me honor where we are. Because let's talk about first world problems. Our home life is awesome. Awesome. Number two, we need to move the rabbits. Like that's one of the reasons why. Like we have like two farm areas. We have our rabbits here in Kigali, and then we have the farm being built in Gashore. So I might have to be inconvenienced by driving, and the that's why I need to leave because I literally have to wake up like at 6 a.m. to drive to Gashore to handle farm business, but I have to leave Gashore by 12 p.m. so I can be back in time for work. And I work from 1 p.m. So, no, let me take that back. I leave at 11 a.m. now. 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Straight. I work straight and then I'm home. So the reason for the move is supposed to be steady on that. And so when I realized that I was putting extra stuff into that solving, I was like, I just needed to check myself because I can't fall in love. There's the advice. You can't fall in love with something so much is causing you to drown just to save face on that vision. Like, let me put it this way. All right, let's act like this never happened. Have you ever stayed in a relationship because of the energy you put into the relationship? Not necessarily. If you really want to be quiet, the relationship and the vision you have ain't really what you want. I'll tell you this one, I'm about to give y'all the truth. But you put in so much energy in the beginning. It's like you wanted that outcome. I was engaged. Like I was engaged. Like I had a boyfriend who actually was like, "You, I choose you." Talk about engagement later because it was an accidental proposal. But what I recognized is that while we were in this relationship, and there were good times, there were bad times, there were fun times. The moment that the ring went on my finger, because I had said yes, I could not see married life. And it took about a month because you get so caught up in the now. And then I realized that if I had children with this man, I would be quietly teaching my kids a different set of morals and values than I think he had. And it took a long time for me to kind of be real with that because I was kind of like, I made that okay. Like I made me wanting to teach a different skill set to my kids, like behind his back, okay, until I recognized that's not the healthy thing. But I was so invested into the relationship because we've been through this and we've been through that, we've been through that. Instead of just saying, hey, You were a great mate to teach me how to be in a relationship, what I like, what I didn't like, and leaving it at that versus we got to build to be something more. And so that's where you get into that ride and die chick mentality. So it's the same thing. I think I'm really good at recognizing or learning to recognize that energy when it comes to dating because like dealing with men like that's we talk about that all the time, but you don't always recognize that decision when it comes to work related things. Like I've been at this job so long that they will do this for me one day or they will do this versus I'm just working. Like sometimes you're just in something. And so when it came to me fighting for the house or whatever like that, what I recognize is that, like, to be honest with you, the house is not a bad idea. The house is not a bad idea. The house is not a bad idea. There's still part of me that wants the house. However, the house does need like a level of work. And so I can't fall in love with the house so much and not 100% understand the level of work that's needed. And if that level of work is needed financially, what is that going to look like? And, like that. So it's like I needed to stay realistic in the financial piece of if this, then that. So if we go, it's a blessing. But this is the blessing how we work. And what happened is I started looking at this more so like, I need this blessing. I need this to work. I need this to happen. No, 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 no. It can happen. It could happen. It's a blessing, and there's more work to be done. So if we put everything out on the line and it happens, good. These are our next moves. But if we put everything out on the line and it doesn't happen, cool, because we know how to make moves where we are. That was not a must have situation. It's a heavily respected and it can be situation. And the truth of the matter is, the whole truth and nothing but the truth is, it might be wiser for me to just buy land and slowly build. And if I'm going to purchase a house, get the house I want and not one I have to renovate to be what I want. Well, that was the reality I didn't want to hear. And then that's a whole nother thing because banking out here and mortgages, like I didn't understand how mortgages and loans really worked when I first had the conversation. Baby, I learned the hard lesson on Friday. Like I was adding my numbers was not I was not carrying my numbers correctly. And when they told me like it's something simple and I just did not know y'all. I just did not catch it because of how language is and I run around with what I think is in my head sometimes versus what was really stated and it just takes time that reality check. So I didn't realize that I was being paying interest on for every year I had out a loan, and the interest rate was like 17%. So on a purchase like a 20,000 to 30,000, doable, keep it down to like 3 or 4 years, knock that junk out. Baby, when I asked about the 20-year mortgage for a house, and they came back with all them zeros and ones that was carried over to the decimal place over and under and circled a two and come back. And I didn't catch it at first. I was like, okay, $1,000 for 20 years. Then I added it up. 20 years times 12 is 240. $1,000 per year is $240,000. I'm taking out 80,000. That's a no. That's a no. That don't make no sense. So like it's that piece. So that's why I said I kind of lost track because I was so busy trying to win. I was so busy trying to win. And like have your ego back. Like Jay Essence moved and got a house. I could see everybody like, oh my gosh, what did you do? What did you do to buy the house? Stop that. I'm stopping that. Ego is not going to drive my decisions. Ego, just because I get to be in the popularity table for a little bit and everybody looking at me like I'm the golden girl. Nope, I'm not going to sit there and put myself into a financial strain just so I can sit there and floss for 20 minutes. Nope, nope, nope. I'm going to keep it honest. That's what I'm supposed to be doing with y'all, right? Nope, 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 nope. Keep it honest. Keep it honest. Let me drink some water. Child, when all them zeros came back, when all them zeros came back, and like, not only those, but I wanted to call people and apologize because I apologize for wasting your time because I didn't know how to read the zeros. I didn't know how to read the zeros. And I sincerely apologize because I can't even see like mm, 240,000. If I don't have a house that talk to me, like let me be honest with you. I just sat there and said like housekeepers and salaries and all this stuff. I need a house that cleans itself for 240. I need to be walking into, and I don't know what movie, but you know when they talking, like I just need to put my fingerprint and eye scan into the house, and the house open up. Welcome, J Essence. You are home now. Let me spray your spritz of lavender. We are going for which motif today? And I'll be like, we are going for calm nerves, light wine, and a burgundy. Like that's me, like a sunset view. And then I need to hear the choo choo choo, like stuff needs to start moving, and like the window comes up, and there's a wine already poured, and the house is handing it to me, and I'll be like, and thank you for this. And then like that's the other thing because then I also need to have the house because what if I come into the house and I'd be like, J Essence, welcome home. What is your motif for now? And I'll be like, Trick better have my money. And they'd be like, oh, okay, so it's gonna and then the music, did I have my like that comes on, and then like I need all of those. I need like 20 settings on my own house to come through. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Crazy, gosh. And then that's when you talk about privilege too. Like I just need a room to sleep in and a room to for all of those with good mind. I was talking about boo boo and I wasn't talking about that. But like that's I just need that. Like I know where my luxury comes in. I gotta have me a good shower, hot water shower. I need to be able to scrub. Oh yeah, Linus, I meant to say $1,000 a month. Nope, $1,000 a month. Let me help you with that one more time. And that was me rounding down. It's supposed to be 1,100 a month for 20 years. Go ahead and calculate them numbers. Calculate them numbers. And tell me, let me tell you what the how to solve that equation. You take that, you multiply it by 12, then you multiply it by 20. And then when it equals to no. It equals to not today. It equals to not on my watch. It equals to hell no. That's what it equals to. That's what it equals to. So if I did slip and tell no, 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 1,000 a month for 20 years for 80,000. Like, mm-mm, mm-mm. Like now that I walked out of that, child, to the no, child to the no, child to the no, child, no, no. I'm trying to invest in Africa. At that point, Africa invested in me. No. And then you already know whatever I get now in 20 years, it's going to be obsolete. So I'm sitting there looking crazy. Nope. Let me say it again. Nope to the nope, 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 no. So um, there's one opportunity still available. Like I said, the house is not completely off the table. It's like 20% still on the table. But it's not for that deal. Let me be honest, it is not for that deal. That deal right there, that's not the deal. So if it comes through on the other deal, and the other deal is that let me just be honest with y'all, bump that. I can get the house for 35,000. Um, but it didn't praise it that high. So if the number comes down, if there's a renegotiation, might do that, knock it out, 3 years, be done. Um, but I think that's no because people don't like, if the owner doesn't want to go down lower than that, then it is like no is not a hard thing to say. No is not hard. And it's not no attitude. No, it's just like, yo, dog, sorry. That's just the way it is. Like, I'm not going to sit there and put myself into dire straits. No to the no, no, no. I am perfectly fine where I am right now. Perfectly fine. I will still rent these cars and drive these kilometers. I almost said kilograms. Drive these kilometers. We will make a way. Do you know where hence my people have cometh from? We can make a way. I come from the we can make it happen tribe. I come from the um I was gonna get there, but I got funny. Is credit score a thing in Rwanda? There's a technical. So our credit score, like no. Um, they have a credit reporting bureau. So if you do take out a loan, and you default on that loan, the bank reports you to that bureau. But it's Rwandan based bureau. And there's no such thing as like looking at your credit to get a house. There's not anything. They do pull your credit. I know that because I'm going through the house buying process. So they will pull it up because that's part of the mortgage loan process. So it's a technical, there's a credit score. It's more like a credit paper, like a piece of paper. And you only get on it if you have taken out a loan. You can take out a credit card. I haven't taken out a credit card at any of the banks. So I don't know too much about that. But I do know you can get a credit card. So that's that answer. So yeah, that's that new math. That's that no math. So I think I'm done for the day. It's been an hour. If you guys have any questions, I'll give you like 3 more minutes. I don't think I'm gonna make it 3 more minutes. I think I'm tired. So it's been nice rocking with y'all. I wanna rock with you, baby. I need a sneeze. So for everybody else, I'll check you. I don't think I'm making 2 more minutes. Like that's how I hit. I'm tired now. Yeah, I'm going to bed. I need a sneeze. Ooh. All right.